Now I talk of my dog, that I may not treat of a worse subject, which my spleen tempts me to. I will give you some account of him, a thing not wholly unprecedented, since Montaigne, to whom I am but a dog in comparison, has done the same thing of his cat. You are to know, then, that as 'tis likeness begets affection, for my favourite dog is a little one, a lean one, and none of the finest shaped. He is not much a spaniel in his fawning, but has, what might be worth any man's while to imitate from him, a dumb, surly sort of kindness, that rather shows itself when he thinks me ill-used by others, than when we walk quietly and peaceably by ourselves. If it be the chief point of friendship to comply with a friend's motions and inclinations, he possesses this in an eminent degree. He lies down when I sit, and walks when I walk, which is more than many good friends can pretend to. Witness our walk a year ago in St. James's Park. Histories are more full of examples of the fidelity of dogs than of friends, but I will not insist upon many of them, because it is possible some may be almost as fabulous as those of Phylides and Orestes, etc. I will only say, for the honour of dogs, that the two most ancient and estimable books, sacred and profane, extant, vis-a-vis the Scripture and Homer, have shown a particular regard to these animals. That of Toby is the most remarkable, because there seemed no manner of reason to take notice of the dog, besides the great humanity of the author. Homer's account of Ulysses' dog Argus is the most pathetic imaginable, all the circumstances considered, and an excellent proof of the old bard's good nature. Ulysses had left him at Ithaca when he embarked for Troy, and found him at his return after 20 years, which, by the way, is not so unnatural as some critics have said, since I remember the dam of my dog was 22 years old when she died. May the omen of longevity prove fortunate to her successor. You shall have it in verse. Argus. When wise Ulysses from his native coast, long kept by wars and long by tempest tossed, arrived at last, poor, old, disfigured, alone, to all his friends and even his queen unknown, changed as he was with age and toils and cares, furrowed his new reverend face, and white his hairs, in his own palace forced to ask his bread, scorned by those slaves his former bounty fed, forgot of all his own domestic crew, the faithful dog alone his rightful master knew. Unfed, unhoused, neglected on the clay, like an old servant, now cashiered he lay, touched with resentment of ungrateful man, and longing to behold his ancient lord again. Him when he saw, he rose, and crawled to meet, 'twas all he could, and fawned, and licked his feet, seized with dumb joy, then falling by his side, owned his returned lord, looked up, and died.